Whoa, what is Dad doing here early? Well, it's not early where you are, is it? Is it lunchtime? It's almost lunchtime there, huh? It's early here still. We'll give us a second to warm up here as and see the great view in front of you. We changed locations. This is the old U.S. Mint and State Museum now here in the grand city of Carson. Winter is holding on. Supposedly it might snow tomorrow. So we got that going for us. So me slacking off in the garden hasn't really impacted me yet because it's still snowing. So we'll see what happens. But we got to get the getting. Dad's already got like tomatoes and stuff growing. But so the thumbnail, if you caught it, today's what do they call it? The personal consumer something or another, PCE index. The stuff you spend money on, came out, and inflation went up, but as expected. Uh, so if you don't know, so they put out this report today. The Fed should speak and put a statement out today as well. Um, and Monday morning could be chaos, or it could just be off to the races, or who knows, depending on what they say, right? So if you've got your money where got your money and you've got your investments, this would be a good week to pay attention, I think, because the Fed's in a box. We've talked about it before, like how are they going to play both sides of this? Because if inflation is going up, then by their own admission, they have to keep interest rates where they are. But if they keep interest rates as they are, that's hurts a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of industries, right? And everybody, the markets included, are expecting them to cut this year multiple times. If they delay that even more, um, yeah. So I don't know what they're going to say today, but prediction is the markets are going to go crazy on Monday, like straight up, like up. They're, no matter what the Fed says, or however the Fed says it, they're going to convince the markets to go up. Yesterday, gold and silver went way up, um, just in preparation for this event, I think. Since everything's closed today, there's no trading today because it's Good Friday morning, right? I see a double entendre. I see what I did there. Um, but it's going to be interesting come Monday, um, and what goes down. And so all you guns coast to coast people, uh, I don't know how you do it. Might want to double down on your bets, or take your profit and reposition it or something, because I think Monday could be pretty interesting. Depending on what if the Fed comes out today and says something like blatantly, we're delaying cuts, that could be very bad. But if they continue to ride and play both sides, the market's just going to continue to shoot up. I could see it, because and I can see them repositioning, and people have talked about this. The Fed's going to give up on inflation fight and just say 3% is our new number, and they're going to ride it. Yeah, like you said, though, uh, as Dad started off here, food and energy should be the only thing measured in the inflation, in the CPI. There's no doubt. The most important things to most people, food and energy, are excluded from the inflation numbers because they're a lot higher, as we've all tracked on here, than the reported numbers, right? Um, so we got that going for us. Um, it's just amazing how smoke and mirrors continues to be effective in this whole game. So I don't know, but keep doing what you're doing, I guess, and just pay attention this week if you've got bets in the whatever market. If you've got gold jewelry laying around that you've inherited and you don't have any use for, might be a good time to cash it in and move it into something else. Not saying gold couldn't go higher, but it's at an all-time high, so it's It's higher than it's ever been in your life. And if you've got something you really want to invest in or purchase or move money into, get all that gold jewelry out and scrap it and go do something with us. Um, but we got Boneyard with us. What's up, Boneyard? Yep, the inflation is full retard. It's a truth. And we got JJ. Hey, what's up, JJ? How's it going? I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you're still on here. You're probably growing stuff too. Um, but yeah, this is an interesting case of everybody's got all weekend to take what the Fed says and be like, what are we going to do with this? And inflation's running hot, or not hot maybe, but it's as expected, but higher than the 2% goal. Like, come on, Fed, what are you going to do? It's like, it's like somebody's getting ready to sucker punch you. Like, which do you want, head or gut, face or gut? Like, you're going to get hit somewhere. It's going to hit you somehow. But I would definitely keep an eye on any investments you have, because next week could get just crazy, I think, because it is inflationary and whatever the Fed says. So the Fed statement comes out, I think, in a couple hours after they take this PCE report and be like, okay, how are we going to massage this? It's like the orange juice report from trading places, you know? Somebody's behind the scenes manipulating the dollars and making money off of it either way. I just don't want you to get caught in the crosshairs. Dad's got starts going. That's awesome. Once the snow melts, says JJ. You got snow still? Well, that's good. I saw somewhere, Colorado got a bunch of snow last week, and somewhere else just got snow. I guess I couldn't figure out where it was, but I was like, man, I'm jealous. But we're not going to get much, I don't think, this week. Too much you'll be planting, JJ? Got to get your starts in. Get your starts now. Like, we don't put anything out in the garden until mid-May. I might try to get some. See, what are we at? Beginning of April. We'll see if once this cold snap goes through this week, maybe we can get some cabbage, lettuce type stuff, cold weather stuff in. That type of thing. We got to see. Yeah, the snow did pretty good in March. No doubt. Hey, Chipper, what's up? So I just would say be mindful of what's going on. If you've got your gambling bets out, that's all I really wanted to talk about, because it is kind of unusual for a inflationary number like that to come out with no tradings going on. So everybody gets all this time to game plan it, even though there were a bunch of bets placed yesterday, because a lot of people seem to be betting on commodities. If you look at all the, it's interesting how the commodity, I was looking, there's some things that are like flat. Like, you look at lumber prices, lumber really shot up, last 3 years ago, and now it's back down to like its median. And like a lot of those things, cotton, lumber, like they've got this, it's like they're being manipulated to be at one flat level. So that's interesting, and it makes you wonder how producers can actually make a living. Like, the people that sell it can still put their cost of production in and the cost of warehousing and labor and everything, but the people that actually harvest it, whether it's cotton, lumber, or whatever, cost of labor didn't go down. Cost of labor didn't stay flat. Their input cost to actually grow this stuff didn't go down, but their cost to get it to market, when they go to market it, is this, the marketing price is the same. It's like, that doesn't make sense how that's working. So they're having to cut a lot of corners or something. Or, as usual, what happens is the little man gets cut out and only the big corporations survive. And then, so I don't know, while I'm on here, Have you seen the news about Oregon and shutting down farmers and farms and ranches? They've got some new rule they're putting in place. Um, it's really impacting small farmers, and I can't think of the details off the top of my head, but it's not good. And small farms are definitely going to have to fight back. Um, but I can't remember what it was, and but basically, if you're any type of small time operation, uh, you're going to get put out of business. And I can't remember what the criteria was or anything. But look that up. Oregon farmers, regulations and stuff. They're definitely going after, and then maybe that's probably just a test case that'll go everywhere else afterwards. Chippers load up the truck with chocolate bars. Yeah, right. The cocoa price out of control. That's weird. Like, how come the cocoa price goes sky high when there's supposedly a supply disruption, but all these other commodities are back down to a medium price after because everything bumped up 3 years ago, right? 3 to 4 years ago, everything like spiked and there were shortages and yada yada. But now everything came back down. But now this cocoa price thing is like, whoa, what is going on? Couple videos I've seen compare what happened to cocoa in like 76 and the run up to the 80 gold spike, which is interesting. And it's interesting how the Hunt brothers cornering the silver market may not exactly have been the total reason that silver spiked in 80 as well. They just happened to get ran out of business because of it. They had to declare bankruptcy because of the Fed basically clamped a bunch of rules around them that made them have to close contracts and everything. That's an interesting story. And I guess that just happened this week. This week is the anniversary of that. I believe I saw a video on this is the silver spike, gold spike, silver squeeze of 1980 was this week. And basically the banks got caught and Fed bailed them out. The government made a rule and in the stock in the commodities market made a rule that punished the Hunt brothers instead of making the speculators, the people that didn't have the silver, eat it in the shorts. Because it was like, I wish yeah, I just saw the video yesterday, I think. Was it last night even? Check that out. If you're into learning a little bit more about that, it's interesting how they point out some things. There was a whole run up to that. Cocoa was the run up in 76, started, it spiked, and then gold spiked. So it wasn't just a silver market. And it lets you know inflationary times are coming. And we're kind of now in that pattern again without the smoke and mirrors cover necessarily. So we'll see what happens there. That's it. That was an interesting video. So I just wanted to get everybody on here and point out that consumer inflationary report that came out, the PCE. It doesn't include food and energy, which we all spend more on and is the most inflationary thing that we see, but it doesn't count, so don't worry about it. Inflation's fine. So you figure inflation's got to be closer to 10%, easy. And we've tracked that and talked about that with all the food and the things you buy, whether it's at the grocery store or otherwise. And now gas is shooting back up, which is energy. Of course, they don't track that. I haven't checked the price of propane lately. Is there a propane? There's actually, what is the price of propane? But gas is basically back up over $4 most places. Is there a propane price here? I'm right next to a propane tank. How fortunate. I don't see a price though for it. Hey, what's up, C103? Good morning. So stock up on the chocolate, right? Dad promoting his inflation index of the combo meal and gallon of gas. So right now we're tracking it over $15. I guess it depends on what combo meal you get around here. But gas is sitting right at 4, depending on where you get it. You can get it 3.90. Um, but a combo meal, I guess it depends on what you get. I think you can still get something for under $10, right? Depending on where you get it. And do you have to include taxes? You got to include the man's cut, right? $8 a gallon? Are you kidding me? That's 8 Canadian dollars, right? Oh, yeah. The price of gold in Canada is 3,000 Canadian dollars to the ounce. So that's interesting. The race to inflation is on for everybody. So I'm going to get out of here on a Good Friday and go do the things, the work things. There's your wonderful old U.S. Mint, Nevada State Museum. Come visit sometime. And we'll talk to y'all later. Stay frosty. Prep hard. Live free. How'd I get out of here? I still haven't figured out how to get out of here on these. Dad read an article about fast food places define the poors. Was that people making less? Yeah, the poors is anybody making less than 200,000 nowadays. Have a good one, JJ, Chipper, Dad. Was that? Did the article actually say the poors, or did Guns Coast to Coast actually write that? How do I get to see if I can get out of here? Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Peace out. Have a good weekend.